One of the highlights of Acts chapter 24 is when Paul is witnessing to the Roman governor Felix. Here's what we read in Acts chapter 24, verses 25 and 26. Now as he reasoned about righteousness, self-control, and the judgment to come, Felix was afraid and answered, "Go away for now. When I have a more convenient time, I will call for you." Meanwhile, he was also hoping that money would be given to him by Paul, that he might release him. Therefore he sent for him more often and conversed with him. We see in this passage three interesting themes. Theme number one, Paul's teaching. Paul is teaching about righteousness, self-control, and judgment to come. These are essential subjects. Regarding righteousness, right standing before God is possible by receiving Christ, and only by receiving Christ. Our works cannot save us. Regarding self-control, the Holy Spirit who indwells each believer offers us grace to say no to the flesh, that part of us that still wars against God. Regarding judgment to come, all people will be judged by God. Believers will be examined and rewarded for everything done unto the Lord. Unbelievers will be judged according to their deeds. And since they've rejected Christ's payment for their sins, there will be no forgiveness, only the lake of fire. Paul does not hold back. He lays out the truths that Felix needs to hear. Theme number two, Felix's resistance. Governor Felix becomes afraid and sends Paul away. Not everyone receives the good news of Christ with open arms. Some, like Felix, are resistant. They push away the truths of God and the offer of a relationship with Christ. They want things on their own terms, when it's convenient for them. Our part is to keep planting seeds and to leave the results in God's hands. And then theme number three, Felix's selfish motives. It turns out all this time, Felix would consider releasing Paul in exchange for money. In other words, he's hoping for a bribe. He doesn't want Jesus. He doesn't want the word. He doesn't want forgiveness. He wants money. Multiple times he's asking Paul to come and share, but with impure motives. He's a guy who lives and breathes power, position, and money. But Paul stands strong and preaches about righteousness, self-control, and judgment, the things that Felix really needs, much more than money. So we looked at three themes: Paul's teaching, Felix's resistance, and Felix's selfish motives. In reflection, are you and I, like Paul, presenting the gospel truths that people need to hear? Are we continuing to do our part to plant seeds, leaving the results and the motives of those involved up to God? Are we, like Paul, steering clear of using the gospel for selfish gain? May we remain true to our calling and share Christ boldly and purely. Thanks for listening.